everyone, I'm Kathy Dawson. Welcome to Can You Relate? Cleveland's relationship show. We have a jam-packed show for you today, soup to nuts. We're going to be talking about what happens when you have someone in your life who has Alzheimer's, and how do you relate to everyone in your life when that happens. We'll be talking about what if you have someone in your life who has an addiction. How do you relate to that person? And we're going to talk about a very important relationship you have with your body. So let's get started. You know, your relationship with your body is one of the most important relationships you have. Taking care of it is paramount. So we've got somebody here I'd like to introduce you to. Dr. Raj, Dr. Joyesh, would you pronounce it for me?
Joyesh Raj.
Thank you. Joyesh Raj with Raj Plastic Surgery. I'm really dying to talk to you about this because women are about bodies in many aspects. And it's not just about how we look, but how we feel about our body. So help me understand from your perspective how important that is.
Well, women relate with their bodies. I mean, women's emotions and bodies are so intimately related. And sometimes there's a disconnect in how people feel, and it's a function of how they look. So a lot of people look to alternatives to just make themselves look better and therefore feel better.
Right, and there isn't a woman out there listening who can't say, well, I look in the mirror and sometimes I see something that I just am not happy with.
Right.
So there are lots of messages out there about women's bodies and about the people they should go to. What's your perspective on how does somebody find someone who is really a good match for them?
Well, you know, and these days, plastic surgery is so commonplace. The media has made it such a hot topic. Mm-hmm. Everybody's talking about it on the internet, on the TV, the news, TV shows, you know, so right. Everybody's hearing about it. The hard part is identifying what is real and what is important and trying to find somebody that can help accomplish an individual's goals.
First of all, what if somebody isn't even sure of what they want, what their goal is? Do you help them kind of zero in on that?
Absolutely. I think the first step that people should consider is finding somebody who's very qualified to do the procedures. And you know, the thing is, there's so many different alternatives that are available. People can have less invasive procedures, you know, Botox,
right.
Fillers, lasers.
Like gradation.
That's right. And then
right.
they can have more aggressive procedures, things like surgery. And nowadays, so many people are doing these procedures. It isn't limited to just surgeons, for example. There are a lot of folks, there are gynecologists who are doing liposuctions and Botox. There are,
really?
You know, emergency room physicians, dentists who are doing Botox and fillers.
Oh,
so
okay, stop. Dentists are doing plastic surgery?
That's right.
That's not related to teeth?
That's correct. And
okay.
That's where you have to be a very educating and discerning consumer.
Now, you brought a magazine. This
right.
is a great visual. Where do you see this?
Well, I mean, this magazine is a nice glossy magazine which shows a lot of people who are capable of performing cosmetic surgery. Mm-hmm. People who call themselves board-certified cosmetic surgeons and so the point is that a lot of these people may be qualified to do certain aspects of procedures, but they may be marketing and promoting themselves to be something other than that.
And so there are ads in this magazine of people saying that they are a dentist or a gynecologist, but that, look, I can do all these other things.
Right. I think, you know, there's an individual here who is an oral surgeon who is doing tummy tucks and breast augmentations in a nicely glorified and glossy picture, which, as the consumer, you may not be able to discern that and identify it. The things you want to look for are board certification, and specifically board certification in plastic surgery. Someone who's gone through rigorous training to learn how to do these procedures.
And I'm assuming that you are that person,
That's
right?
That's correct.
Okay.
A perfect analogy, I mean, if you're having a heart bypass surgery, you'd want a board-certified cardiac surgeon.
Yes, you would.
And not all boards are the same. and it's important to identify the real one.
You know, the other thing that comes to mind is if I have a surgery by someone who's not board certified, do they do it in the office? Do they do it in a hospital? I mean, where's this happening?
Right. A lot of people can perform procedures in their own office, and they're not regulated by national medical boards. And you know, people who tend to operate in the hospitals have high, strict credentialing processes. So they're the ones that are going to be the ones that are credentialed to do the procedures properly.
Now, you're going to be coming back because we're going to talk about specific procedures down the line, but this was a great introduction into how to do your homework. That's the message here. So thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me today.
And if people want to get a hold of you, they can call you at 440-808-8030, which is Raj Plastic Surgery, or go on your website at rajplasticsurgery.com. Stay tuned because we've got the roundup coming up next.
Up next, who's the boss in your home? Our Relationship Roundup has something to say about who should have the final say. And later in the show, those picture-perfect moments don't always give you perfect pictures. We'll offer help for capturing those big events.
Craig and Mark Lindell and Grange Insurance know that when you're out there doing what you do, the last thing you want to worry about is sketchy claims coverage from a cut-rate insurance company. When you go with Lindell Insurance and Grange, you're working with companies that use big, bold brushstrokes when it comes to claims and make an art of working out even the smallest details to make everything perfect. Contact Lindell Insurance or visit their website.
Oh, I just love this segment. This is the Relationship Roundup. This is where I get to have my friends come on the set, sit on the couch, and talk about different relationship topics. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have each person introduce themselves to you, and you'll get to know them a little bit, and then we'll get right into the topic. So,
my name is Rochelle Obuji, and I am a mother of 3, and I am a stay-at-home mom.
Great. Thank you for being here. You've been here several times.
Thanks.
And you're new to the couch.
Yes. I'm Melissa Fitzgerald, and I've been married for 12 years, and we have 2 kids, 8 and 4, a boy who's 8 and my daughter's 4, and I'm in marketing communications for the Alzheimer's Association.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Christina, this is your second time.
Yes, I'm Christina Forward, and I am a stay-at-home mother. I have a 1-year-old daughter, and I've been married for 3 years.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, here's the topic. Who do you think in your home is the boss? You or your husband? And what situations do you think you're the boss or he's the, or is it like all or nothing kind of thing?
Well, I think I'd like to say that I'm the boss, but I think we
And
can all
we are.
agree.
Yeah.
But I think it's situational. There's certain
Absolutely.
strengths and weaknesses that you both have, and it just depends on the situation. I know I'm better with making decisions for our daughter. He may be better for making decisions with finances, things like that.
Okay. Do you got? I'm seeing heads going like this.
Well, I call myself the chief operating officer of our household. My husband is the Department of Commerce and Defense. I take care of agriculture and Homeland Security. But you know, I think it's like you said, it's a balance between the two. You know, it's, you know, the kitchen is my territory. You know, computers are my husband, so he's the technological person.
Okay.
With
So
the-
you're compartmentalizing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Strengths and weaknesses.
And how about you,
Definitely.
Melissa?
I think it depends on the areas that you feel strongly about. I mean, with us, I think we definitely try to stay on equal footing for the most part. But if you asked my husband, he probably would say that I'm the boss, you know, just deferring. And if you asked me, I'd go, well, it depends. But definitely with financial situations, he
He runs.
king.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now-
but with kids and yeah.
You're so young. You probably don't remember this show, but there's a show called The Honeymooners.
Yes.
You see
Yes.
reruns?
Yes.
Okay. Ralph Crampton. I'm the king of the castle. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you know what? They need. Well, this is the thing. They have to feel like they're the king, but we all know that it's like you're the king, and then behind we actually are the kind of the puppets that are doing the pulling the string.
Okay.
Making
you
the
agree-
plans.
okay.
Making the plans.
I
Making the
see.
plans.
All right. Here's the other thing. Have you seen the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yes.
There's a line where the mother says to the daughter, "Listen, honey, the husband's the head, but the wife is the neck, and she decides how to turn
way to
which
turn
way to
his
turn the
head."
head." Would you agree with
So
that?
true.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
we're-
actually, My mother has that same saying, and she says, when the neck gets stiff, the head can't move.
Oh my.
That's great. Now, in our personal life, we're team players. I mean, I do have to say, we really, no matter what the situation, right, Dick? What the situation is, we really come to the table. But there are certain times where Dick overrides it. One of them is the Homeland Security thing.
Yes.
We're laying in bed. He hears the noise. Okay. He says, I have to go. Don't move. Shh, it'll go away, don't move. He gets out a samurai sword. He has a, like an antique kind of thing. Okay, and he gets out there. So then I don't have any say at all.
Yeah, I think that there's certain things that, you know, gender roles need to play their role. And in our house, I don't even touch the trash. The trash is something that, I mean, it could just sit there and I would just stare at it. I would just stare at it. And so there's certain things like that I think are gender roles, and I'm okay with chivalry playing its role. So.
Okay, and do you ever overstep your compartmentalizations? I mean, what happens if all of a sudden you step into the commerce area, or you know, is that an issue, or?
I think that's when you start butting heads.
Yes.
But as long as you know your strengths and your weaknesses, you can step back and let him.
Okay.
And you can have someone, like with the commerce in our house, we both kind of manage that, but we try to keep each other in the loop because we're both pretty much good at those areas. But I think there's a lot of negotiating when you're in those areas that you're both strong in.
Yep.
A lot of negotiation.
Yes. So really, it isn't that somebody's the boss. I mean, it's like I love the way you put it, strength and weaknesses, and you work as a team to complement each other. It is. Good. And I love doing this. Can we just do this for the rest of the show? Just kidding. Okay, if you want to add to this, you can contact us through Facebook or Twitter and tell us your thoughts. So stay tuned, because we have Rate Your Relationship coming up next.
Addiction is a real problem in today's world, whether it's an addiction to alcohol, drugs, gambling, or shopping. If your mate has an addiction, do you rescue your partner to keep him or her from getting into trouble? Make excuses for him or her to protect his or her image? Deny that he or she even has a problem, even though you know in your heart that your mate has an addiction? Coach Kathy is ready with some real answers for this all too real problem.
If you said yes to 2 or more of these, you probably are enabling your partner. And I have to tell you, it's very difficult to live with someone who has an addiction. It's very important to let that person go through life and have some natural consequences. Even though you're dying to rescue them and really protect them, you're really not doing them any favors. So what I recommend is, if you're married to someone who has some kind of addiction, that you find a support group for spouses of the person who has this problem. And again, step out of the way of their recovery, and they'll be able to heal on their own. It's tough, but it's what you need to do. So if you know someone who wants to take this survey, they can do so by going to CanYouRelateTV.com. Stay tuned, because we have more of Can You Relate coming up.
Just ahead, will your child be a senior soon? Well, we'll help you prepare for that important portrait. And later, families automatically turn to wives, mothers, and daughters when a caregiving issue arises. We'll share how that may be hurting your health.
Everybody wins when you decide to donate your ride to Our Lady of the Wayside.
Our Lady of the Wayside is so much more than a car donation program. For over 40 years, we've helped thousands of physically and mentally challenged citizens live more comfortable lives within our network of homes. Our services range from assisting with personal care to developing productive personal growth. With your generous support and help, we can reach out to so many more. Y'all can help. Visit wayside.org or stop in to see us today. You can change lives.
Is your son or daughter going to be a senior this year? It's a very exciting time, and it's all about senior portraits. We have someone here who knows all about this. Amanda Raybeck, welcome back to the show. You are the owner of New Direction Photography. Yes. So tell us, I think about senior pictures, and I wish I could have dug mine up. It's a lot different today than it used to be. In my day, we would sit, pose, take 5 shots, and you're done. How is it different today?
Well, now our most popular session is about an hour long, They can bring up to 5 different outfits. It's really laid back. And they get over 45 pictures to choose from. It's not just the head and shoulders. It shows more of their personality.
Okay, so this is like a photo shoot almost.
It is a photo shoot.
So other than outfits, are they allowed to bring anything else along with them?
A lot of them choose to bring, cars, ATVs for pictures. We do a lot of pictures with pets.
Wait, cars? What was the second?
ATVs. They're all-terrain vehicles.
Oh, I see. I'm not with it. Okay.
Pets. Some of them.
Look. Now this is a traditional shot.
Yes, that's a traditional head and shoulder shot. All the sessions come with that, especially since some of the yearbooks require that.
Oh, of course. This is cute. Now, was this in her backyard?
No, it was at a park.
Okay.
So we do travel.
You go on location. All right.
That's at the studio.
That's interesting. You have a wall that has license plates on it?
It's actually a background. It's fabric, believe it or not.
Cool.
So.
Huh. Oh, I like this one.
This
is very...
Also a background. Yep.
I don't know what the word is. Trendy or something.
Yeah, it's definitely trendy. It's one of our most popular backgrounds.
I like it. Aw, so they can bring their pets.
Yeah, dogs are really popular. We do a lot of dog pictures. So
cute. Oh, and he's got his, of course, he was a football player, so Kenston, I see.
Yep.
Great. And if you're a musician, you bring your
instruments. I mean, a lot of people have collections of stuff. I've had girls bring in like all their purses if they collect purses and stuff. Yeah.
Really?
So
they don't let you put that in the yearbook, though, probably.
No. Well, some of the yearbooks probably do. Most of the yearbooks have head and shoulder requirements, but you never know.
This is like out of a movie.
Yep.
This is really great. So you go on location. What? Oh, you go to stables?
Yes. A lot of our seniors have horses, so instead of having them trailer the horses to the studio, which they're welcome to, we have an outdoor area.
Okay.
We'll go to the horse barn and take pictures there.
So what is the most unusual photo session you have? I'm dying to hear this. Go ahead and tell us. It's okay.
It's actually outside of seniors. I actually did a taxidermy convention a couple weeks ago, which was something totally out of my comfort zone, but I learned a lot of interesting things. So.
Wow, very interesting.
I'll photograph anything.
It's never boring in your life, I'm sure. And you've moved, right? You have a new location.
We're in the process of moving. We had a really good first 2 years, so we're moving to a larger space just a couple miles down the road.
That is great. And you've been in business for 2 years, so you're really growing.
Yeah. So
now, is it okay for Mom and Dad to be there?
Yes.
It is.
Yes. I don't mind it. I don't have a problem with it. Some of the seniors might have a preference, but I never say one way or the other. It's kind of fun to have Mom there. We'll talk the whole way through the session.
Okay.
And the seniors are also allowed to bring their own music, so we'll have the music playing and stuff, and it's just a relaxed time.
Can you imagine Olin Mills doing this back when I grew up? I mean, nothing against Olin Mills, they're great, but that was just not, the flexibility wasn't there.
Right.
I had another question I wanted to ask you. So the parents can be there, and when should parents schedule?
It's typical to have your senior pictures done over the summer before you actually start your senior year, mainly because a lot of the yearbook deadlines are at the beginning of that school year. So for us to have enough time to turn in the picture for you and everything else, they have to be in the summer. We actually sold out June and July by mid-June last year. So.
Oh my gosh.
And the discounts are higher the earlier they book. Right now we're running 70% off. So.
Oh, nice. All right, so you hear this, you got to get on the phone. This is something to click off on your to-do list.
Yes.
So if you want to get a hold of Amanda, give her a call at New Direction Photography at 440-708-0965, and your website is newdirectionphoto.com. Great information. Thank you for being on the show again.
It was fun.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Next, is a friend becoming forgetful? We'll help you know when it's time to worry. Then, your kids are noticing that Mom and Dad are partners, sparring partners. Coach Kathy referees a solution.
Now that warmer weather is just around the corner, you and your mate can begin to spend more time outdoors again. And one of the most romantic ways I know of to enjoy nature is to watch a sunset on the shores of Lake Erie. Cleveland provides a multitude of venues for sunsets, and one of my favorites is Simms Park, a bird sanctuary and 30-acre park in Euclid. Aside from being a place from which to see an unobstructed view of a sunset, Simms Park is the home of the Albert W. Penn Mansion. On the grounds of the mansion are acres of trees and walking trails, some of which lead to the beach. You and your mate are fortunate to live in a city situated on a lake. Don't let another summer go by without watching Mother Nature's awesome gift of a sunset. It is truly romance at its best.
For those who struggle with drug and alcohol addiction, finding the courage to change is the first step to lasting recovery. Discover life in recovery. Discover Glen Bay.
Glen Bay, nationally recognized drug and alcohol treatment for adults. Discover more at glenbay.com.
Women, and you're one of them possibly, are juggling a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things in their life. And there, we have some here with us. Angela Geiger, you are here. I hope I get your title correct. Angela is the Alzheimer's Association Chief Strategy Officer and co-editor of the Shriver Report, A Woman's Nation Takes on Alzheimer's. And Alzheimer's, just the nature of it, calls for women to be caretakers. And I would like to dedicate this segment to a friend of mine who passed away a year and a half ago from Alzheimer's, and she had it for like 15 years. I watched firsthand the effects it had on all the people in her life. So tell us about this report and why it is we need to know about this.
Yeah, as you said with your journey with your friend, Alzheimer's is a cruel, devastating disease that really takes away so much, not just from the person themselves with Alzheimer's, but everyone around them.
Right.
And what the Shriver Report brought to light for the first time is that Alzheimer's really is an epidemic, and women are at the epicenter of that epidemic. 60% of women, of the 5.4 million Americans with Alzheimer's, 60% are women, and 65% are caregivers.
Wow. You call it a tsunami.
Yeah, you know, it's just this epidemic that's about to be as devastating to us. 5.4 million today, by 16 million people by the middle of the century. Alzheimer's is the sixth leading cause of death in America, more than diabetes, and it's the only one of the top 10 causes of death with no known way to cure, prevent, or even slow its progression.
Oh, that's great. So you're saying the government needs to know about this, people need to be aware of it because it's coming. Yeah. It's like you say, a tsunami, it's approaching.
And one of the things we found, the Alzheimer's Association found with the Shriver Report, is that women, the burden is just amazing. And in fact, when a full one-third of women who care for people with Alzheimer's also have children in the home. And they talk about the fact that there's so many resources for child care, you know, and we take care, but we need to have that same conversation about elder care. It's just as hard.
I saw it with Rose. You know, she had a son who lived at home, and he took full care. He had some help, but it was really rough.
It is,
especially near the end.
And I think that's, you know, what people don't realize. It's a misconception that Alzheimer's is just a little memory loss, but it's so much more than that.
Oh no. Rose at some point just shut down. I mean, there was nothing there. It was just so sad to see, but yet her heart was pumping. So your body's there, but you're gone.
And that's why the Alzheimer's Association works so hard, 24 hours a day, every day of the year, to make sure we're there to provide support, both in the early stages to people with Alzheimer's themselves, but then the caregivers through that long journey.
Oh my gosh. Now, in this report, and I know Maria Shriver's father had Alzheimer's,
yes,
right?
He
so
did.
This was very personal to her. There are essays from a variety of different kinds of people. Can you explain who these people are?
Yeah, in addition to all of these facts and figures, there's also personal essays that really bring to life what happened. So we have everyone from Chris Matthews talking about his mom to really personal stories. In fact, I have an excerpt from a woman, Rosalie, who lives in San Diego. She's married in 1951, and she writes, "In the early months, I tried running out to do errands while he was home asleep, but the few times he woke up alone were so frightening. I stopped. I hired a caretaker to help out, but that didn't work out either. Then tried to hit the young man. One day locked him out of the house. The caregiver quit. I gave up. I quit the community theater company. I quit my job in sales, and I stopped going to Mass. I was officially housebound."
Oh boy. So this lady lost a big portion of her life. So your report, I think, is to raise awareness, to let people know this is happening. You need to know about it so you can put some strategies in place so you can still maintain a life and care for the person who has this disease.
Yeah. The reason this report was so important to us at the Alzheimer's Association and Maria Shriver was to take this national dialogue and bring it around kitchen tables, you know, just as probably your viewers are watching today, and to talk to your friends and to participate in the Walk to End Alzheimer's and become an advocate and really start talking about this the same way we talk about other diseases that we've made so much progress in.
It's a scary disease. I mean, no disease is fun, but Alzheimer's is particularly frightening. And so I think there might be a certain amount of denial around it. Oh yeah, well, if I don't think about it, it will go away. Well, guess what? It's not going away.
No, it is not going away.
Thank you for your work, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for helping us raise awareness about this important issue to your family too.
Thank you. And if you are going through this situation, you know someone who is, I want to give you some contact information. The Alzheimer's Association Cleveland area chapter, the number is 1-800-272-3900. And the website is www.alz.org/Cleveland. And if people want to look at your report, they can go to ShriverReport.com.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will be right back in a couple of seconds.
Coming up, you and your mate go round and round, and you do it around your children. Kathy offers advice on how to argue without an audience. And next week, home buying is staging a comeback. We'll help you refigure your rooms to make your home move off the market. Next week on Can You Relate with Kathy Dawson.
Hi, Murray Plasko from Fashion Floors, here to remind you that Fashion Floors has a wide selection of carpet and the newest and hottest in hardwood flooring. Plus, we have the very latest in green products like bamboo and cork. Think big, save big, get 12 months same as cash. Call or come see us today.
Join in as Al's Deli celebrates its 5th anniversary. Nestled in downtown Cleveland's 55 Erie View Plaza building, Al's Deli serves breakfast, lunches, delicious Middle Eastern dishes, and has catering too. Al's Deli, a hidden treasure for your tummy. Log on for money-saving coupons today.
This is the Ask Coach Kathy segment. This is where you get the chance to write in a question and I will answer it for you anonymously on the air. Here is this week's question. Kathy, my husband and I have gotten into the habit of arguing in front of our children. Neither of us like doing it, but somehow we can't seem to help ourselves. Any suggestions? First of all, I'm really happy that you understand that this is not a good thing to be arguing in front of your kids. The most important thing to do is for you and your husband to agree on some kind of code word or gesture that stops you from getting to that point. One of the phrases I give to couples who I coach is this phrase: let's reconvene at, whether it's in an hour, a couple hours, whenever it is that you can dissipate your emotions and get back together. Now, your kids need to see you not be happy all the time, because that's not reality. But if you have some conflict, that's okay. It's what you do about it. It's how you handle it. So that's the most important point. Now, if you have a question that you would like me to answer on the air, feel free to email us at canyourelatetv.com. Stay tuned, because I'll be right back to tell you what's coming up on next week's show.
Would you like Coach Kathy's help in making your relationship the best it can be? You can get in touch with Kathy by calling 216-932-5016 or visit Kathy at kathythecoach.com.
Thanks so much for joining us for Can You Relate? Stay tuned for next week's show, because we are going to talk about Mother's Day and what a makeover can do for Mom. So have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Monday on Can You Relate?
Wardrobe provided by Aurora Farms Premium Outlets. Hair and makeup courtesy of John Roberts Salon and Spa. Stay in touch with the show. Check out www.canyourelatetv.com. Can You Relate with Kathy Dawson is presented by CK Media Productions.